The British political landscape is in disarray, and no one is more emblematic of the growing crisis than Keir Starmer, leader of the Labour Party. His leadership, once seen as a beacon of hope for a divided nation, is now nothing more than a fragile illusion, barely holding together amidst growing tensions both inside and outside his party. His recent performance during a live interview has exposed the fundamental weakness of his political credibility. The truth is undeniable. Starmer is failing to lead. Let's face it, politics today is not a space for hesitation, for half-baked answers and lackluster rhetoric. In times like these, when the UK is teetering on the edge of a political precipice, the public demands a leader who can respond to questions with authority, clarity, and conviction. Starmer's floundering, speechless response during the interview only reinforces a glaring truth: his inability to articulate a coherent vision for the future of the Labour Party and the nation is dangerous. Every word he speaks lacks substance. Every statement comes off as political posturing rather than a genuine plan for change. It's time we stop pretending that this party, under Starmer's leadership, can be the force of transformation that the UK so desperately needs. The political chaos in the UK is not only a reflection of the Conservative Party's ineptitude but of Labour's failure to step up with the strong, decisive leadership necessary to challenge the status quo. The Labour Party has become a fractured, inward-looking institution. Internal divisions, lack of cohesion, and unclear policy proposals have left the party unable to inspire confidence in the public. At this critical juncture, when people are crying out for leadership and a way forward, Starmer is failing to answer the call. Take his mishandling of basic questions. When confronted with a question about Labour's ability to win over disaffected voters, Starmer's response was devoid of conviction. He suggested that the issue was simply one of division, ignoring the fact that his own party is increasingly divided and that his leadership is at the centre of that fragmentation. Starmer's insistence on presenting himself as the unifying force rings hollow when his party's internal discord is so glaringly evident. The question, then, must be asked: if Starmer cannot unify his own party, how can he hope to unify a divided nation? This failure to offer clear leadership has only been exacerbated by his comments on self-defense, a contentious topic that left the interview host visibly frustrated and speechless. Starmer's attempt to clarify his remarks only raised more suspicions about his true stance on critical issues. His lack of clarity in the face of public scrutiny further exposes his leadership frailties. And let's not forget the awkward silence that followed, an excruciating moment that could have been avoided with a leader who possesses the ability to respond to difficult questions with poise and authority. But Starmer faltered. He could not regain his composure, and in doing so, he provided an unintentional but damning portrait of a man unfit for the challenges of leadership. Let's not ignore the mounting pressure of the scandal swirling around Starmer, one that has the potential to unravel his political career entirely. Allegations of violating lockdown mandates are not something that can be brushed aside. If the rumors prove true, it will be nothing short of disastrous for Labour. The public remembers the devastating consequences of lockdown restrictions, the pain, the isolation, the uncertainty. To think that the man who could potentially lead the country might have broken the very rules his party fought to uphold is nothing short of a betrayal. If Starmer is forced to resign or step down, the fallout will not just harm him, it will send shockwaves through the entire political system. What's most striking, however, is how little Starmer has done to prevent this from becoming a reality. Instead of showing leadership in the face of scandal and controversy, he has allowed Labour to become mired in confusion and division. His failure to decisively address the concerns surrounding the Southport unrest, and his attempts to restrict investigations into potential wrongdoings, only serve to fuel the growing suspicion that Labour is hiding something. This lack of transparency is not only damaging to his credibility but is undermining the very core values of the party: accountability and integrity. In the current political climate, where both major parties are embroiled in scandal and public trust is at an all-time low, Starmer's leadership, or lack thereof, has only exacerbated the situation. The UK is desperate for strong, visionary leadership, yet Starmer's hesitations, contradictions, and vague policy proposals have failed to offer a meaningful alternative to the public. What the country needs is a leader who can cut through the noise, take bold stances, and offer clear, actionable solutions. Starmer is not that leader. It is time to acknowledge the painful truth. Keir Starmer is not the leader the UK needs. His lack of decisiveness, his weak handling of critical questions, and his inability to unite his own party speak volumes about his qualifications to lead the nation. If he cannot confront the challenges within his own ranks, how can he possibly navigate the complex political terrain of a nation in turmoil? Starmer must either step up or step aside, because the UK cannot afford more uncertainty, more failed leadership, and more hollow promises. The time for change is now, and the Labour Party deserves better than a leader who leaves us speechless in the face of crisis.